Yes, brothers and sisters, lovers, haters, boys, girls and vibrations. I hope everybody's well. I hope everyone has had a nice Monday. Now, I watched a podcast yesterday by Central Club, which I thought was a good podcast. I like the host. I think it's a good format. I think it's a good podcast. They had Dean Lynch Ward and Dougie Joyce on there. Now, even though Dean called us a wrong'un, I still enjoyed watching the podcast. I thought Dougie made some really good points, which I'll get to later. Now, I thought about this one. I thought, do I come on here and ridicule, humiliate and insult Dean, which I'm well within my right to do so. But I did think about this one and I thought, something, I'm going to give my honest opinion on here of Dean. Now, usually when I'm replying or responding or making a video of that nature about somebody, I'll address them as if I'm talking to them. Now, I'm just talking to everybody, and I usually inject a little bit of humour into those types of videos. Not today. Today, I'm going to be honest and open about my actual opinion of Dean Lynch Ward. You see, me and Dean done a podcast for my channel, which is still on there. And the Dean that I met was rather polite. He was respectful. He was courteous. He showed humility and honesty and respect. You see, but Dean couldn't see the camera that day because it was on like a side angle, and something happens to Dean when either he can see a camera pointing at his face or he is holding a camera in front of his own face. And he adopts this different persona, different decorum, what can only be described as an alter ego. It changes the way he sits, it changes the way he speaks, it changes the way that he laughs, And you see, I think sometimes the lines are blurred between Dean's actual fighting capabilities and what his alter ego projects his capabilities are. You see, I'm in no doubt that Dean would turn up and Dean can have a fight. I'm not saying he wouldn't fight. But what I'm saying is, I think he gets beat by someone who's average. I think an average fighter beats him every day of the week. That's my opinion. That's not fact. That's my honest opinion. Now, you see, the thing is with Dean, I don't think he knows what's best for him. I don't think the rematch is best for him, even though I would definitely watch it because I like watching fights. I don't think his alter ego is good for him. And for what it's worth, in that last fight, even though I had very little invested in it, I wanted Dean to win. I really did want him to win, and so did everybody round here, for that matter. But, he didn't take it seriously, did he? He hadn't trained, which was, his own doing, so he got found out that day. But I would watch the rematch. But you see, Dean said something like, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said words to the effect of, if YouTube wants to come back alive again, the other fella should accept this rematch. And that got me thinking, it begged the question, is it the fight that you really want? Or is it the back and forth? Because it seemed like it was the back and forth which was more desired than the fight. That's just how it seemed. You see, the Dean that I know, Dean himself, sent me a message on Instagram not so long ago, apologising for, talking about my mum and making those videos in the pub when he was off his chops. That's the real Dean, you know. And then, you know, of course, his alter ego takes over, you know, and he becomes something very different, a rather undesirable person who, you know, tells a lot of lies. You see, Dean was on my podcast saying that he had a couple of amateur fights and he won some and lost some. Then his alter ego takes over and he's had 67 and won 64, which is somewhere between difficult to believe and not true. However, I do wish the promotion all the very best. You see, Dougie made some good points. One of them being, the more promotions that are out there, the better. You know, and there's potential collaborations and more competition, which can only be a good thing for fighters. You see, I mildly criticised that promotion once over, but I retract that. I take it back. I wish it every success, because it's clear to me that the level of professionalism is being elevated steadily. And as I've said, I hope it shines. You know, I hope it's a success. You know, and I'd like to see it getting nothing but bigger and better. I think I'm done with that video, you know, this video, and I'm off out the door training with Mickey, and then I'm at the fellowship. I wish everybody well. Happy Monday. God bless you all.